What up, YouTube? So this time I'm going to be working on the software aspect of the 3D printer. The last time I went over just about all of the electronics. The only thing I didn't cover was the BL Touch. So with the BL Touch there's 3 servo wires, and you plug those 3 servo wires into that slot there. You want to make sure you've got the jumper in there, so that will provide power to these slots here. And then it goes servo connect on the outside. The negative, which is the ground, is the middle set of pins, and then on the outside is the power. And then you just plug in the actual end stop switch part into the minimum end stop for the X. So now I'm going to be working on the software. I installed Arduino 1.8, and it's important to have this version because it's got all of the proper libraries. You are also going to want to make sure that you add a specific library in there. It's called U8GLIB, and what that does is it basically allows you to run the screen. So I'm going to go in here, and I've already downloaded that. You can get it pretty easily. I'm going to copy that and make sure I've got it in the libraries here. So I've got Arduino libraries, and I'm just going to paste it in there. Then I'm going to go to my tools, and the reason I'm doing this is because I don't have the correct bed size in there. I'm going to go to Mega 2560. And then I'm going to open my firmware. Got it on my desktop. And when you do this, it'll open up a new window here. And the one that you're looking for is configuration.h. And I'm looking for the maximum bed, but there's quite a few maximums in here. We've got all the maximum temperatures, we've got some end stops, bed power, prevent lengthy extrude, and almost there. It's just after the end stop. So we've got the bed size here, X bed size, Y bed size. So you can see I've already adjusted those to be proper. They were just a little bit too big. I like to go a little bit smaller so I don't get close to the ends. So now that I've got all that set up, I've got my Arduino plugged into the computer here via the USB port. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and click upload. And you can see, oh, I had an error here, invalid library. U8glib.h. So I'm going to go back into my libraries here. And it looks like it's having a little bit of trouble with that library still. I'm going to see if I can download it. Go to manage libraries, and I'm just going to see if I can download it. and that is the one. We're going to install this one since I've already got the 2.3.5 version installed. And we've got this one here talking about the Marlin firmware, so we're going to also install that one. So there's no harm in having multiple libraries installed. Going to go ahead and upload this again. We'll see here compiling sketch, and looks like it's going to go through this time, which is good. So just give it a moment longer here. And yeah, no errors so far. Looks like we need to serial port not selected, so select that one. And now we've got uploading. Looks like it's failing to send the commands. So I think that means that I need to enable this to actually output to so it's telling me my board is not connected. Thankfully I can just copy that error message, go into search, and I need to allow Arduino output info on Linux. So basically I need to give it permissions. Saying just go to File, Preferences, and for the verbose output settings, go to compilation and upload. So hopefully that should do it. I'll try it again. Got it compiling. And we're still getting the same error. Permissions to allow. So I'm going to do some research on this and get back with you guys. Okay, so I was able to fix my uploading problem by entering in this command here, sudo user mod -a-G space dial out $user, and as you can see I was able to override and upload to the firmware. So now I've got my firmware uploaded. And I'm just going to kind of double check here. By going to prepare, move access, move X, move it to 150. Okay, so it's moving much more than it should be. So likely what the problem is now is that I have two different styles of gear sizes here. So I'm just going to go back in to my firmware and I'm going to go online, do some double checking and make sure that I've got the proper steps. Another way to do this calibration also is by moving it 10 millimeters, measuring exactly how much it moved, and then say I have it moved 10 millimeters but it moved 11 millimeters, so that means that I need to decrease the steps per millimeter by 10% in the actual firmware. So it's a pretty simple calibration process, and it's something that you're going to want to do when you first set up your printer, and that's going to make sure that you get the exact size. A lot of people too, what they'll do after that is they'll print out a calibration cube, and the calibration cube will be like 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters, and then you print it out and you measure it and adjust your steps accordingly, depending by what they need. Okay, so got the firmware updated, and I'm going to do a tiny bit of a test print here. We'll see how it goes. When I first did the firmware update, I had a glitch happening on my display, so I had to go into the Ultra LCD and I just increased the time delay on all these to 250, and that seemed to help the problem. Other than that, I made the proper adjustments in the firmware under the configuration.h, which is where you make all the firmware adjustments. You can kind of just scroll through it here, choose your ramps board, how many nozzles you have. You can adjust your end stop direction, the maximum and minimum x-axis. So right now it's doing a bed level using the BL Touch, and the BL Touch works pretty smooth. You can see there it drops the pin down. Once it detects the board, then it pulls the pin back up, and it's as easy as that. And the BL Touch here just wires in pretty much like a normal end stop, but you've got this extra servo connection. So yeah, now I'm just gonna see if I can put down the first layer here. We've got the extruder heating up now. You can see it's about 120, and once that gets up to temp, it's going to lay down the first layer here. And this is the most critical part of your print, is the first layer. If the layer is too far away, then the filament will look like a kind of a bubble, and there'll be gaps in between the layers vertically in the X and the Y axis. And if it's too low, then it'll be basically not able to push the filament out, and you'll get some backup happening in the extruder. So once it's calibrated just right, you'll see just a very thin layer. It should look like it's pressing it down a little bit on there. You can see here I'm getting a little bit of filament discharge, so that's a good sign there as my filament reaches temp. And yep, you can see there a little bit's coming out. So I've also got my fan just wired in there to be running constantly, and looks like we're about to hit temperature now. It's at 210. I know the screen's upside down, but I've got kind of a small space I'm working with. Let's see, I can illuminate it here. So, and one thing I noticed is the fan normally has like a little bit of a motion that it shows that it's moving, but that is not moving since I did the time delay, but it's not really a big issue for me. So as we reach the right temperature here, it'll bring this nozzle down, and I can already tell that my hot end is too far away. You can see it's quite a ways off there, and it also looks like at least it's consistently far away. I can see it's moving it a little bit, but so this is kind of an easier fix here. I can actually do this from the control board. So we can see here I had another error come up, minimum temperature on the bed, which means that if you see this come up, what happens is this temperature sensor here is not getting a good connection. So I'm just going to reset that, and then I'm just going to guesstimate that I'm about I'm going to say it looked like it was about 2 millimeters off. So I'm going to do a little bit of trial and error here. I'm going to go in here to control, and I think it's under BL Touch. No, it's on motion, probe Z offset, so it's at -2. So I'm going to set it there. We'll go down to -1. And then I'm going to go to my store the settings, and then I'm going to try this all again. We'll actually just go like this, go to prepare, and then we'll go auto home. And that'll put everything in the home position, which means that it should also put my Z-axis when it stops there. It should be, I think it'll end a little bit above it. And then what I'm going to do is I'll set it to 0. So I'll go in here, go back to prepare, move axis, go to Z. As you can see, it's set at 15. So now I'm just going to go down to 0. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of paper. And then I'm going to use that piece of paper by sliding it underneath the hot end. And I can see there, I'm not feeling, oh, I am feeling it just a tiny bit. So that should be, if anything, a lot closer. So now that I've got that set quite a bit closer, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to try and print again. With the Z support. So now it's going to heat everything up again, and then it's going to do a test print, and I'm going to see if I get that good mesh, and if it's still too high above, then I'll adjust that offset again accordingly until I get the exact layer height I need, and then it'll be good to go. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.